Okay, so Kian, wow us with your prowess. What answers do you have?
Do the first one.
Okay.
So we plug in 3 into X.
Okay, hang on, guys. I can't quite hear. So, sorry, you said do plug 3 in for x. So g of 3 is the integral from 0 to 3. How do I do that?
So you can see that it's a semicircle with a radius of 2. So the whole circle would be 4 pi, but since it's just a quarter of it, it's 4 pi over 4, so it's pi. And then you do the next segment, which is a -1 slope over 1 interval, so it's just 0.5. And it's below the x-axis, or below the, it's negative, so you subtract it.
Okay, so guys, evaluating this is what I want to see. That he said plug in the 3 for the x. So we are integrating 0 to 3. What does that visually mean? He said we need to find the area of this shape, which he said is a quarter of a circle with a radius of 2. So pi r squared. He only wanted a quarter of it, so that becomes pi. And then he said we need to find the area of just this little sliver, because we're going to 3. Be careful visually. A lot of you want to jump to the other side of it and complete the whole triangle, but it said to 3. And that triangle is 1/2 by 1 by 1. And he said it's below the x-axis, so we're subtracting. I agree. Yes? Francesca, you chose to sit there. My goodness. Amalia, find all values over the open interval. People asked about open interval. Does that mean that if the maximum happens at 5, do we include it? No. Okay. So where are all the maximums between -2 and 5 open?
So it would be when g prime of x changes from positive to negative. So you would have a relative max of x equals 0.
Wait.
A question.
Hold on. So first thing she said was there will be a maximum of g when g prime, the derivative, goes from positive to negative. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, what is g prime in symbols? F of x. So where does f of x go from positive to negative? Anywhere else?
Nah.
Now, let's be careful. Did it ask me for the x values, or did they ask me for the maximum itself? X value only? Find all x values, all of them, on the open interval. Are there any other places? We said no. Right, but there could have been a whole bunch of relative ones. If they were like stinkers and they gave me a sine curve, I'd be like, you jerks. And they will do that to you sometimes. All right.
Ms. Pascal,
Yep.
isn't there not a relative at 5? X equals 5.
Open interval. So this is the thing. The first question really stressed that you better look at the endpoints. This one, they're like, you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care about it at all.
All right.
But yes, there is a relative max at 5, and they didn't ask for it. If you included it, they'll be like, that's all right. But if you also said that there's a maximum at -2, the other endpoint, they might hurt you for that. So if you give extra information that's not wrong, they'll be like, all right.
But isn't -2 not a relative maximum?
It would be a minimum. So
Right.
if you tell me it's a maximum,
You say something that's not true.
yes. If you add extra information that is incorrect, they're like, got you.
So we
don't
can't
be
say -2. We can only say it's an inflection or a relative minimum.
Okay. First of all, you would have probably gotten 2 points for part A, getting that area correct. 2 points for part B to say the X value where the maximum occurs, and then some valid reason why. And again, you have to have this connection of they're asking about G, they gave you a graph of F, tie them together somehow. You needed to have that G prime equals F somewhere. Okay.
So
Yep.
is like an actual FRQ,
This is an actual FRQ.
and the FRQs there's how many?
6 every
6.
year.
This isn't that bad.
So the fundamental theorem of calculus ones, I hope that you don't despise them because there's solidly definitely one on there every year, sometimes two.
Is this that?
This is one of them.
Oh,
It's usually question 3 or 4.
these are all
It's non-calculator.
What do 1 and 2look like in 5 and 6?
Okay, 1 and 2, guys, we need to practice those probably on the early release days. We'll do those. Those are with calculator, and you guys need to, like, I don't let you ever use your calculator because it just gets in the way. But you need to be able to calculate a derivative and an integral and get stuff off of it. But we'll do those later. But let's do part C. Sydney, part C is asking us to find a tangent line. Tangent line. What do we need to create a tangent?
We need the x coordinate, the y coordinate, and the slope.
So I need a point and a slope. So do I have the coordinate for G of 3 from part A? So what was the y value?
It was pi minus 1/2.
Pi minus 1/2. And if you got that wrong in part A and used it correctly, here they do follow through. I do follow through. And it stinks because when you get part A wrong, you may have some really crazy things. And you said we also need the slope. How do I find the slope?
Well, the derivative of G is just the regular graph of f of x. So then, it's just -1.
Okay.
Critical tangents.
So Natalie's putting together the slope and the point. Write the equation of a tangent.
So you'll get y minus, I guess parentheses,
Or
pi minus 1/2 equals -1
Our critical
times
points
x
are
minus 3.
positive.
So parentheses around the x.
Okay, if you guys forget the parentheses, it's wrong.
The first
You can stop right there and leave it alone, which I highly recommend you do. This is full credit. This is 1 point right there. Possibly 2. I don't know how they break it up. Is it 1 point for getting the coordinate and the slope, and then 1 point for putting them together? I don't know. But stop right there, and you get the coordinate. You get the point. If you distribute the negative incorrectly or move things around and then take your right answer and make it something that's wrong, they take it away. Do you have a comment or a question?
Yeah, could you move the pi minus 1/2 to the other side? Or should we just leave it?
That's what I was just saying. You
Okay.
can, but don't. Like, you're safer, just leave it alone. Like,
Wait, what is that? 1/2. Oh,
1/2. That was the answer that Keon got us earlier. Put the phone away, please. Thanks. Patrick, what is the last question? How do I do that? Or sorry, Jackson.
The last question, where the double derivative of G equals 0 and changes signs.
Okay, or 0 or undefined. So
Yeah.
we need to find inflection is where G double prime equals 0 or is undefined and changes sign.
Oh, shit.
So, Roisin, where would that be? And I just hit undo. So, where do I have inflection points?
So for the slope of that for f of x is equal 0 and 5, so at 0 and 3.
Do you guys agree? She said the inflection points are where the slope of this derivative, the slope of f, changes sign, which she said is at 0, because we were positive slope, then negative slope, and she said at 3. Is it inflection point at x equals 2?
No.
No, why not?
Because it's not changing. The slope is not changing.
The slope is still negative. It's a different kind of negative, and the derivative, the second derivative of g is undefined at 2 because there's a kink in it, but the slope was negative, stayed negative, not an inflection. Good? Like this one was reasonable? Y'all are going to see something like these on Thursday's test. And some of them suck.
We have a test on Thursday.
Bro, what's your right?
This is why I don't see it.
You come in and you face that board to sit down. Yeah, okay.
This is gonna be an issue.
June. Yes, Isaiah.
When is the homework due?
Delta Math is due on Wednesday. So there is a long, painful Delta Math out there. It is due Wednesday in class. I recommend you spend some time on it tonight. Yes, Noah?
So it's not retakeable.
Tests are not
Like a
retakeable.
chapter test.
Yep.
On chapter what? 5?
5.
5.
And
Chapter 5
These-
is how much of what we did recently.
this is a hard question.
Okay, let's try this question.
I recommend that we, in the last 3 minutes, like, you guys should try this question. All of the keys are posted. Compute G of 4. How would we do that just strategy wise? Josh, how would we try to do part A? What? Okay. Find the area from 1 to 4.
5 plus 1.
Okay, guys, strategies here. First of all, draw it. I'm concerned that the kinds of mistakes you would make if you had this one on the test, you would do the integral from 0 or you would do the integral from -2, but not where it actually gave you. It goes from 1 to 4. And what do you notice about these guys?
Cancel.
They cancel out, so don't even bother. And then do the area of that trapezoid, or look at it and be like, oh, I can cut up the boxes and get the answer. So it's 5 halves. And then G of -2. Okay, big question here. Francis, G of -2. How do I do that one? It's the area of this triangle, right? Which is 1/2 4 times 3. My question is, okay, half of 4 times 3, 6? Is the answer 6?
No.
No,
No, what is it? -6 because
you have to move 3 backwards.
the dx was negative. Okay. And I'm kind of thinking that they are going to make us use these to answer this question. They asked us to find the values of the endpoints right away, just in case you forgot them.
I'm sure.
So the answer of G of 4 is positive 5 halves because we were going forward. The value of G of -2 is -6. So these are where you're going to make mistakes, is like just being sloppy and things. Instantaneous rate of change, what is that asking you to do? Derivative? Whoa. And hopefully by now that fundamental theorem of calculus has been beaten into your head.
Time and time again.
Yeah, well, time will tell. We'll see you on Thursday. Yes, ma'am.
We still have our FRQ thingy Friday, right?
Yes, and you do still have your FRQ thing on Friday. And